Okay, so what is main character syndrome? Let's get right into it.
Imagine this. You're just walking, headphones in, and then it starts to rain.
But in your head, this isn't just a normal Tuesday.
Nope. It's the opening scene of a movie, and you are the star. The music is the soundtrack. The barista, just an extra in your story.
And that, right there, is main character syndrome. It's a cultural term, not a clinical one.
So is this just a new word for narcissism? Well, not exactly.
It looks like self-celebration, but really, it's often more of a defense mechanism. At its core, it's a direct response to feeling completely insignificant, a way to feel seen.
I mean, think about it. There are 8 billion of us. It is so easy to feel lost.
Like you're just a single, meaningless pixel in a giant sea of digital noise.
Plus, many of the big stories that used to give life meaning have kind of faded away.
So, with no clear script to follow, your mind is forced to write one for itself.
This can lead to a kind of psychological, hostile takeover of your reality.
A bad breakup stops being a random failure. Instead, it becomes a character arc.
All of a sudden, you're not a victim. You're the writer, director, and the star.
And what's fascinating is this is a really human way of dealing with modern anxiety.
It's a powerful defense against that deep fear of just being an extra.
If you've ever felt like that, you're tapping into something that's fundamentally human.
Seriously, this desire to be the star of our own show, it's not new and it's completely normal.
Psychologists actually have a term for this. It's a core part of us called our narrative identity.
So if we all have one, what's causing this modern, supercharged version? Let's dig in.
Well, the first big reason is something called the audience effect. Basically, we're always on stage.
For pretty much all of history, our story was private. Social media just blew that wide open. Suddenly, our audience wasn't invisible. We could count them in likes, comments, and shares.
This causes a massive psychological shift. Our brains are just wired to respond to that feedback.
So we start seeing our lives through the eyes of our followers, which changes everything.
That voice in our head isn't just talking to us anymore. It's writing for an audience.
But it's not just about the audience. There's a second major factor cranking this all up.
I mean, we are just swimming in perfectly crafted stories from movies, TV, you name it.
And without even realizing, we absorb these classic story beats and expect them in our own lives. The result? We try to squeeze our messy, unscripted lives into these neat little movie templates.
This quote really just nails the new role our mind takes on in this whole thing.
So yeah, we're not just living anymore. We're producing the highlight reel of our own existence.
We are all told to be the hero of our own story. But what if that has a hidden cost?
The whole idea is simple. You start seeing your life like it's a movie, and you're the star.
It's a way to find meaning by turning everyday life into scenes from your personal film.
But here's the thing. Real life is messy. It doesn't actually care about your plot.
And that brings us to plot twist number 1. Other people aren't following your script.
You see them as supporting characters, but they're the leads in their own movie.
So when they go off script, it feels personal, like they're deliberately ruining your story.
This is more than just feeling let down. It's a total system failure for the main character.
All right, on to the next major collision with reality. Plain old boring life.
Now this mindset is great for romanticizing things, like making a rainy day feel cinematic.
But it's kinda useless when you're just stuck in traffic on a Tuesday. Not so cinematic, huh?
Because, let's be real, some parts of life just can't be turned into a pretty scene.
When life stops giving you a plot, it can feel like your personal movie just got canceled.
And what's the most tragic outcome of all this? A really deep, profound loneliness. See, when you're the only focus, your ability to genuinely connect with others just fades away.
Empathy means making room for their stories, but a main character's mind is already full.
So you end up with a life that looks perfect on the outside, but feels totally empty.
So what's the big takeaway here? It might be time to step outside of your own story.
So, is it just narcissism? Or maybe a way we're all trying to cope with a tough world?
Well, the truth is, it's kind of both. A real psychological symptom, but also a very human adaptation. At its heart, it's a coping mechanism. But you can think of it like a beautiful but confining gilded cage. It gives you this powerful temporary feeling of meaning, control, and yeah, significance. It's really a creative response to a world that can sometimes feel, empty. But there's a flip side, a darker side. So what's the real danger here?
The problem starts when the performance of your life becomes more important than actually living it.
And this is the critical shift. Your mindset goes from asking, "Am I happy?" to "Do I look happy?" And right there, your true, authentic self gets pushed aside just for the sake of the story.
This whole way of thinking actually teaches us a pretty tough lesson about reality.
Okay, think about it. A story is neat. It has a plot, a purpose, a life, though it's messy.
This also totally changes how we see others. A story has side characters. A life has other people.
So how do you get out of this gilded cage? What's the escape route?
The journey out is all about decentering yourself. It's tough, for sure, but so liberating.
It's that big realization that you're not the main character in the universe's grand story.
And you know what? That is totally, completely okay.
See, the goal isn't to be the star of some movie. It's to be a real participant in your own life.
Which leaves us with this final choice, to just turn off the camera and simply live.